the reason we're standing on this land is because in 1952, Joseph Schiffauer and John Simon White went to the office together because they had married sisters and they wanted to spend their eternity as close to each other as they could. But they were not just any sisters, they were the Dowell sisters. And the family knew too well that their great-grandfather was in a terrible storm as he left Le Havre and tried to make it to America, and he made it back to England. After a 3-hour storm that was written about in the London Times for a week. And in the middle of the storm, he made a vow that he spent the rest of his life fulfilling, to build a chapel, to marry our helpless Christians. But by the time these Dowell sisters got a chance to end their lives, too many had already died, and so the grave cemetery next to the chapel was pretty much filled. And so Joseph, he was the guy who wore a vest to work and always made sure his corner of the hardware store was on tip-top shape, and he always had his train set up before Thanksgiving. And he taught Bobby Sue one simple lesson of electronics and a simple sentence: "You'll never do that again." Babe, or Cordula, as she was known to very few, had a smile as big as her name. She had the Thanksgiving dinner. She was the reason we were part of the Kraut family on Thanksgiving. We were part of the Mick family on Christmas when we would go down and see the Rochester relatives, see the Berries, see the Myers. But when Bobby Sue was ever here, when we were little kids, she was the first one that brought us a portable record player. She was the first one of our crowd that learned how to play a guitar. And she spent the rest of her life making people happy. She sang in all the cathedrals of Europe. And she didn't want to go to Kleinhans one Christmas because she had too many embroidery boots to bake for her friends that Christmas. And we found out that she had passed because my holiday card came back. So it's the first time any of us in our family have been able to say goodbye to the first of our generation to make it here on this plot. And so the person we're talking about today, it's hard to say because Joseph Bott's church was blessed for the first time on October 7th. 1853. But where did it really start? Maybe it started on the 4th of July.